I punched an autistic kid after he groped me and now everyone hates me. Am I the jerk? That grope was the final straw. I've known Troy since nursery. Kindergarten for Americans. And he has always acted like a baby. His autism was always used as the explanation for everything he did. I don't know why, but he always had a crush on me. I rejected him gently many times, yet he never accepted no for an answer. As we got older, things only became worse. He started making comments about my chest, asking to touch it, asking to see it. His friends kept trying to persuade me to show him, because according to them, no one else would be kind enough to give him a chance. Then in year 7, 6th grade, he began groping me. I told teachers, but they kept saying that his autism meant he didn't know any better. And it was only me. He became jealous whenever I was around another guy. He would have meltdowns. And somehow I would get in trouble because I was supposed to know how upset he would get. No, I didn't. It felt like my only purpose was to belong to him. I wasn't allowed to be my own person. I wasn't allowed to be my own person. The groping continued. I kept telling him to stop, but he didn't listen. I remember crying on the floor while teachers kept insisting that his autism made him act that way and that I was being a good person by taking care of him. His groping a good person by taking care of him. His groping hurt. I don't really know how to explain it. He would grab my chest and my butt hard and it hurt. This went on for 4 years. I was always expected to be his caretaker, his girlfriend, his best friend, his everything. I couldn't stand it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. One day it was hot, and I was wearing a skirt. He put his hands up my skirt and grabbed my butt. I lost it and punched him in the nose. His nose was broken, and now I'm being placed in isolation for 2 months for bullying an autistic kid. But he's not a kid. He's 16 years old. He acts completely normal around his friends. He treats everyone else with respect. He's not a child. Now everyone hates me. I've been receiving death threats, and people keep saying he should have done worse. At this point, all I want to do is curl up and disappear. Maybe I should have been kinder. Maybe I should have been more sympathetic. Maybe I should have just accepted it. Maybe I could have been his only chance. For the record, I don't hate autistic people. He does not represent them. He's simply an awful person. Troy is just a horrible person. Thank you for letting me vent. Edit. Hi everyone. I didn't expect this to get so much attention, so thank you for the validation. For some context, his parents are well-known people in our community. His dad is a third-generation army, something I'm not sure exactly, and his mom is known for organizing events for kids, like the summer fairs and similar things. She's also on the school board and is friends with the higher-ups, which is probably why this situation was allowed to happen at all. Technically, I wasn't his caretaker because I didn't have to feed him or clothe him or anything like that. I just had to be his friend. His dad is also close with people at the local police station. They go way back. So that's another reason nothing much was done. They would take a statement and then dismiss him as mentally disabled. The police here honestly just suck. Officers here have assaulted women before and still walked away without consequences. Here's a small update. First, my parents are going to look into lawyers. We couldn't afford one before, and I was always too scared to pursue it. I think that's because I've been neglected for so long that I assumed no one would believe me. But some of my relatives said they would contribute money so we can hire a good lawyer. Meanwhile, my parents have taken me out of the school, and I'll be staying with my grandma for a while so I can recover. My aunt is also paying for therapy for me, so I'll finally get the help I need. Thank you all so much for the kind words. I hope you all somehow wake up with more money in your bank accounts than you expected. Edit 2. Hi again. I didn't expect this story to end up on TikTok so quickly. I want to thank you all again for your support and your messages. It means a lot. I also want to clarify that this is a throwaway account, and I'd like to stay anonymous. But thank you again for the kindness and encouragement. I've realized now that I was never in the wrong. I am a person. I hope you all have the best days possible. You're all amazing. Relevant comments from OOP. Comment 1. Is the kid cognitively challenged, OP? No. He has mild autism, if that makes sense. He's actually pretty good around people. Just not with me, I guess. Comment 2. I would get law enforcement involved. OP. We tried. They just didn't care because he's mentally challenged. My parents genuinely tried to do something. But when everyone keeps defending him, people believe the majority. Usually when I tell this story, people immediately assume I hate autistic people. I don't. Autistic people don't do this. Terrible people do. Autism isn't the label for assault. The correct label is sexual assaulter. Update. First, I want to thank all of you again for the kind messages and support. Your validation meant so much to me. I also wanted to explain the comment where I said I hoped you'd all wake up with more money in your bank accounts. I heard someone say it on TikTok and thought it sounded nice, so I repeated it. Some people asked me about it in messages. Before I begin this update, I should say that everything I described happened about 2 weeks ago. I had just reached my breaking point and needed somewhere to vent, which is why the update might seem quick to some people. This won't be the final update. Just an update. I also want to clarify things about my parents. Unfortunately, they come from a country where situations like this are considered normal. On top of that, part of the situation is my fault, because I didn't say anything for a long time. When I finally did tell them, they tried their best to help me, but they didn't really know how. While I acknowledge their efforts, I still need time to heal from them as well. The rest of my family also confronted them and expressed their disappointment. For now, the best thing for me is to spend some time away from them. So, to start, I left the school after my parents found out that I had gotten into serious trouble again because of Troy. They decided it was time to pull me out. I'm supposed to start at a new school in 2 weeks. I've also been settling into my grandma's house because I really needed a fresh start around new people. Honestly, I've never felt this free before. I dealt with that torment for years, and now I can enjoy something as simple as walking home without seeing him or running into him. It feels incredible. Now for the more serious matters. As I mentioned earlier, my family decided to pay for a lawyer, and we're hoping to file a lawsuit against basically everyone involved. My grandma also confronted the school board, putting it politely, about allowing nepotism to put other girls at risk. She called the teachers disgraceful for endangering not only me but potentially others as well. And she said that none of the teachers who allowed this should even be allowed to step inside a school. If this experience hasn't been entirely positive. After the lawsuit was filed, or claimed, I'm not exactly sure of the correct term, my parents started receiving letters and messages asking them to drop the case. They refused, of course, but the harassment didn't stop. Eventually I started receiving harassment as well. Some of the people sending death threats went into graphic detail about what Troy supposedly wanted to do to me. Spoiler, it wasn't pleasant. Then Troy's parents showed up at my doorstep, demanding to see me and speak with me, claiming that Troy was ready to apologize. Thankfully by then, my uncle and I were already on the way to my grandma's house. My parents refused to let them in and told them that if they wanted to communicate, it would have to be through a lawyer. The harassment didn't stop. Eventually, Troy sent me a message from a burner account, describing all the things he planned to do to me if he ever got the chance. He said I should be grateful that I walked away with only groping. He kept insulting me, calling me names, and saying I should feel lucky that someone as popular as him had even paid attention to me. He went on about how if I had just slept with him, he wouldn't have needed to grope me. But I know that if I had done that, I wouldn't be myself anymore. I would have become his property forever. Just thinking about that makes me feel sick. His reasoning doesn't make sense to me anyway. In the end, I saved the messages as evidence and blocked him. I also asked my parents to help me change my number, which they did. My grandma, being who she is, decided that wasn't enough and bought me an entirely new phone. She says it's compensation for my trauma. Thanks, Grandma. I'm starting therapy the day after tomorrow, and I'm hoping to begin family therapy in August. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about my parents right now. I'm not sure if I should be angry with them or not. Part of me wonders if it's my fault for not speaking up sooner. That's all the update I can give for now. The lawsuit will be a long process, and hopefully if I remember, I'll update you all again. Thank you so much for your kind words. I truly appreciate every one of you. I hope this update was clear enough, and sorry if you made it this far. Now, on to the next story. My autistic brother spent over $400 of my hard-earned money on Lego, and my mom supports it. I'm 14, and I have a 16-year-old brother with autism, and I just can't handle it anymore. Before anyone jumps to conclusions, let me clarify something. He's not like the autistic people you usually see on the news or online. He's actually a fully functional and intelligent person. However, when he doesn't get his way, he becomes violent, and he doesn't properly register when he needs to use the toilet, so he regularly soils himself. The strange thing is that these issues only happen at home. Anywhere else, he never seems to have accidents. What happened today pushed me to the point of writing this. For context, Here's our usual routine. I woke up this morning to him standing over my bed and repeatedly hitting me. My parents were downstairs making breakfast and had no idea what was happening. He wouldn't stop, so I shouted for my mom. She came upstairs, got him off me by giving him chocolate as a reward, then yelled at me for shouting and took away my electronics for an hour. After school, everything seemed normal. I did some homework and then played Xbox. After about 30 minutes, he started doing the same thing again, hitting me over and over. I had no choice but to call for my mom. Once again, she rewarded him for stopping and then scolded me before confiscating my electronics for the rest of the day. I'm writing this using a phone that one of my friends bought for me, which I keep hidden under my bed. It's the only way I can use technology for more than 40 minutes a day. And just to be clear, this routine happens every day and has been going on for at least 5 years. But what happened today was even worse. He saw a Lego set that he wanted and kept beating me until he got it. I shouted for my mom, but this time she did something different. She let him order all the Lego he wanted using my debit card. I've spent the last 2 years saving money for my paper route so I could buy a PC, and he just spent £400 of my savings on Lego. I hate this. I hate my life. It feels like I exist only to suffer. This post is just me venting, and probably won't go anywhere. But I don't care. With all that said, is there anything I can do about this? I'm a minor in the UK, if that helps. I'm a minor in the UK if that helps. TLDR. My autistic brother spent over £400 of my hard-earned money on Lego, and my mom supports it. Edit. Thanks for all the supportive comments. I honestly didn't think anyone would care. Edit 2. 2,000 upvotes. You guys are incredible. I didn't think anyone would care about this at all. But clearly you do. I'm writing an update to answer some questions and explain what I plan to do next. Again, thank you all so much for the support. Update first. I want to say thank you again for all the support on my original post and for all the suggestions in the comments. I tried to reply to everyone, but there were just too many comments. Even so, I read them all. Second, I want to answer some frequently asked questions, since many people have been asking the same things. Move in with another family member or tell another family member. They all live more than 100 miles away. And don't believe the situation is serious. You can get your money back since you're the card holder. Unfortunately, I need a legal guardian to go to the bank with me to do to a hit him back. I'm a weak 5-foot-tall 14-year-old, and he's a strong 6-foot 16-year-old. If I did that, he'd just attack harder, and my mom would punish me even more. To the people who offered to send me money through private messages and comments, thank you so much for the kindness, but I won't accept it. I've realized that the abuse is a far bigger issue than the money. Finally, here's my plan. After reading hundreds of comments, I've decided that the best thing to do is leave school on Wednesday and go straight to the police station. I'll show them the video evidence I've collected along with the bruises on my arms. Thank you all again for the advice. Please let me know if this is the right decision or if there's a better option. Also, I just saw 3 videos of this story in a row on TikTok. That's absolutely crazy. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.